Dina Cassidy, and I am one of the theater teachers here at HF. My dad's family is from Egypt, and my grandfather was a assistant district attorney for the courts of Egypt in Alexandria. And then they were all over before they came here. My grandfather was hired by the United Nations to go to the Congo to work on the United Nations Congo mission and help them form their government. He was then a Supreme Court justice in Algeria. And then in 1970, they came to New York, where he was a legal advisor for the United Nations. So my grandfather worked at the UN, my grandmother was a private school mathematics teacher, and my father was only 18, so he went to college in New York. So that's how my family came here. My brother and I are first-generation Americans. We are very small family, so the only ones here are my brother and I, my dad, my aunt, and my uncle. Everyone else is still in Egypt. I visited Egypt when I was 10. I can show you a very cheesy picture of my brother and I in a costume in front of the pyramids. So I have not been since I was 10. I do not speak Arabic, so I don't know that I would be super comfortable going without my dad, but since my dad is fluent, my uncle is fluent, I'm hoping to go back with them with my own kids. So I think my upbringing is interesting because my dad is from Egypt, and my mom was from England. So I had two parents that were not from the States, yet we were here going to American schools and public schools. So my brother and I grew up in a very American, traditional American household, essentially. But what I remember specifically about going to Egypt was just how hospitable the Egyptian people are, like just culturally, just always helping people, having conversations with anybody who wanted to come visit. Whereas I think sometimes, like as someone who grew up in New York, New Yorkers sometimes are a little annoyed by tourists, whereas I found the Egyptian people to be really welcoming. So I think their hospitality is something that's deep in their culture. I think something that people don't know about Arab Americans is how diverse the Arab community is. So Arab Americans come from an ancestry of like 22 Arab nations, and those 22 Arab nations are diverse in language and religion and culture, and they're not all the same. And then these people come here, people like my family, and then we squish together our Arab culture and our new American culture, which creates a brand new culture. So the Arab Americans are really diverse people. Middle Eastern food and Mediterranean food is my favorite kind of food. My favorite dish is baklawa, which is a dessert, which many people probably know as baklava, but in Egypt we say baklawa. My absolute favorite restaurant around here-ish is called Fatouche, and it's in Worth, Illinois, and it's really, really delicious. I think it's Lebanese food. So it's not Egyptian, but it's definitely Middle Eastern food. And one really good indicator to know that it's authentic, good food is when you go in, almost everyone in there is Arab. So you know the food is good, but we do need to talk to the owner because they don't make baklava. Yeah.
Marhaba Vikings, welcome back to another segment, a celebration of Arab American Heritage Month. Today I'm coming at you from Arctic Training Center, where I'm going to be in conversation with Coach Dania Seaver.
Hello guys, my name is Dania Seaver. I'm a coach here at Arctic Training Center. I'm currently a brown belt. I do hold 2 world medals in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu underneath IBJJF, the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. So I was about 14 at the time, and I was constantly trying out for high school sports, and they unfortunately never went my way. I was never picked, but I was always an athletic kid. And you know, my grades weren't that well, so that's probably why I wasn't picked. So I was kind of getting sick of that. And one day, you know, I'm just strolling in the neighborhood and I see a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, and I decided, why not, you know, give it a shot. I've faced multiple challenges, such as, people just being like, well, you're a girl and you're doing such a, manly sport. And then also too, our culture and our society's, I don't want to say messed up views, but twisted views on what a woman can and can't do. So I've always had people think that, what I'm doing is not ladylike, or, I shouldn't be doing this because I am a Muslim woman, and I just invite them for their first free session on me. In itself is a learning experience. I would say, from training camps, from, even, for example, when I was getting ready for the Worlds Tournament, I had no idea that I would be in the final round. And I was, it was something that I was preparing for, but I don't think I was extremely ready or prepared for, if that makes sense. It was kind of like 50-50. But that was one of the challenges, and I remember being at the final round being like, holy crap, I'm in the top 2 right now, and having to prepare for that. And then of course, opening up Arctic and challenges as now a business owner and a competitor, trying to balance both right now. Amazing moment, obviously, winning these tournaments, and even sometimes losing. I know that sounds kind of contradicting, but that's when you learn the most about yourself, is, when times get hard or when something doesn't go your way. So definitely, losing some matches. Also too, like I said earlier, balancing being a competitor, being a coach, being a gym owner. That's all been, things kind of having a balance and a challenge in itself, for sure. And also too, especially being a female and trying to juggle all this as well. I have a challenging childhood, and I remember always looking for some guidance and some reassurance, and someone there to rely on, if that makes sense. And I've had coaches, but never any that really stuck to me, except one teacher in high school who was phenomenal. I remember her, and she was also a coach, and she had pretty much resonated so much with me that I was like, hey, you know what? Actually, I could be a coach. I could do this. And she actually inspired me to do personal training and to get my certificate and continue on that way. So pretty much, I just want to be the coach that I would have needed when I was younger.